Hey, how you doing? I just want to give you my experience with the Jeep Wrangler 4xE. I purchased mine back in late September, and why I got a 4xE, I don't know. It's the biggest regret that I've made in purchasing vehicles. And the reason why I say that is, well, when I purchased it, I was looking around for vehicles. I got bombarded by every dealer, and that was great. You know, every dealer in the area just showing me their inventory. And the hybrid was always one that they would show, and I go, I don't want anything to do with it. And so when I went down to my local dealer and I went to look at them, I figured, all right, I'm going to look at Jeeps. Now, I just want to also say that this is not a bash. I'm not here bashing Jeep. I'm not bashing the company. Um, I'm not here to, scream at anybody. This is my third Jeep. I absolutely love them. I love Wranglers. Jeep Wranglers. It's my favorite vehicle. And it was always my goal. I wanted to work my way up to the Rubicon. My first two Jeeps I had, and had close to 10 years. Not one problem. Fantastic, fantastic vehicles. So I had a chance to go, get a Rubicon. I was at the end of my last vehicle. I was like, well, I got enough into it. I could get a good trade for it. So I went and made a visit to my local Jeep dealer. And as I was looking at them, I just, went through the lot and I found a few. And then some reason I got attracted to the 4xE. And make a long story short, I wound up driving out with a 4xE. And I just totally regret it. I've regretted it probably like a week or two after. I was a rookie. I had no idea how to power it. I had no idea what to expect. I was just told, great mileage, great efficiency, and the battery life. All these, I was told so many things. And then I start doing some research. I started to do some research on the forums, and then getting to see the nightmares. That started scaring me. People talking about the battery and how the battery is blowing up. Vehicles are catching fire, and that there was already recalls and things done. And I was just like, whoa, this is scary. I just thought, from my safety and my family's safety, what happens if this blows up? I could be around and out and something can happen to it. So I showed my concerns to my dealers, and it was, to them, not a big deal. But anyway, about a week, maybe 2 weeks after I purchased my 4xE, I get the recall. Here's a battery recall, 95B recall. And in the recall, it says battery can cause fire, can catch fire. And I was instructed I couldn't charge my battery. I was instructed not to park it in my garage. I was instructed not to park it around other vehicles or close to any other structures, because it could blow up. So I showed my concern to my dealer. I said, listen, I just wanted to return it. I wanted to return it. All I wanted was to exchange it for a non-hybrid vehicle. And it kind of went on deaf ears. So I'm driving the vehicle, doing my thing. And then all of a sudden my vehicle goes into what's called form. It's fuel oil refresh mode. And what that does, and when it goes into form, it shuts your battery down. Well, there's no big deal, because I wasn't able to charge my battery. I had to wait until the recall was taken care of, and they had no fix for it. So when I went into form, I had to go do my research, find out what that meant and what it does. And I was instructed that I have to drive my vehicle around to get it out of form. And I'm like, I don't understand that. Why do I have to do that? So it was in form, and about 2 weeks later, it depletes oil. Comes up oil depletion, zero, no oil in the vehicle. Me as a consumer, I'm panicking. I'm thinking, wow, there's no oil. I rush down to the dealer. I give it to my dealer. I said, hey, it's coming up depleted oil. It's in this thing called form, and it's depleted oil. And I was told, oh, this is normal. That's normal. So they took it in. They did an oil change. Used a wave program. I think I was under 300 miles. Under 300 miles getting an oil change. I was like, wow, this is crazy. Expressed my concerns again to the dealer. I'd like to return it. I just want to exchange it for a non-hybrid, and kind of get ignored again. Service just says, this is normal, and this is what happens with the vehicle. So I just take the vehicle. I'm out of form. Everything's driving. Again, I can't charge the battery, so at this point I haven't been able to use the battery since I purchased it. And I'm driving around using the vehicle, my normal daily use. And about 2 weeks later, it goes back into form. Again, I can't use the battery because I can't charge it, but it's back in the form. I'm like, okay, I'll deal with it. So I dealt with it. About a week, maybe 10 days later, depleted oil again. I'm concerned. I'm like, wow, okay, this is depleting oil. This is not good. And this is not good. So I take it down to my dealer again. Well, actually, I called my dealer and I say, hey, depleted oil. They're saying, okay, we'll have to look at it. Luckily, by this time, this is like December, and they finally have a fix for the 95B recall. Now we're talking from the end of September until the beginning of December, and they finally get something to address the recall. Now the recall comes out. I scheduled my appointment. It was December 26th. So I take it in. My vehicle's in form, depleted oil, and then they have to take care of the recall. Now, from my understanding, this doesn't do anything for the battery. The recall, the fix is just adding software so they can maybe detect that battery from catching fire or blowing up your vehicle earlier. That's under my understanding. I could be wrong, but that's, again, it doesn't fix the battery. There's an issue with the battery and they know it. This is technically they'll say this is their second recall for the battery, but it's kind of a third one. They had something in between that they kind of snuck in to try to get people who didn't get the first one done to get them in so they can look at it and update the second time, and then this recall is done. Well, anyway, I get the recall. I get it taken care of. I go to pick it up. I ask my serviceman, okay, everything's okay. He says, everything's updated. All the software is updated. I passed. My vehicle passed. Then I asked, what about the depleted oil? And they told me I should be fine. You're going to be fine. All the software is updated. And this is it's not a problem. I say, okay, great. Hey, guess what? I get to charge my battery now. So I get to go home. I charge my battery. And I'm thinking, okay, good. I'm driving around. Wow, feels really cool. I like the way the battery, driving around the battery. It was pretty cool. It's quiet. I did enjoy that. So it still doesn't take away, though, my concerns about having the battery in the vehicle. I still felt unsafe. I'm like, this is very unsafe. Batteries are blowing up. Again, it's in my mind. I'm just very concerned about it. But I'm also concerned about the depleted oil issue, but they said they took care of it. So about a week after I get the recall, everything's done. Guess what? I'm back in form. So this time I'm in form. I'm driving around now, full battery. Every now and then, I was able to. I can go like from hybrid mode. I can push the electric mode, and it would still say it's in form, but I can push the electric, and it allow me to use the battery. I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. Maybe the software did something for my vehicle, and because I couldn't do that before. Before, if it was in hybrid mode and it was in form, if I pushed electric, it would not allow me to go into electric mode. From my understanding, there's a few different stages of form, and stage one will allow you to go from the hybrid and then push the electric, and you can still use the electric. And and then it would, if you drive it, it would burn off the fuel. It would go back. It'd come out of the form and go back into normal mode, which my vehicle would never do. But at this point, I was able to use the electric, so I pushed the electric. I'm like, oh, okay, this is nice. Well, that lasted for 2 days, and then it went into complete form. A few days later, guess what? Depleted oil. At this point, I got advice from everybody. Did you check the oil? Yes. Did you look to see if there was no oil in it? People suggesting me to reset it myself. No, absolutely not. I'm doing protocol here. Says no oil, I have to get it to my dealer. 100%. Don't do whatever you do. 100% get it to your dealer. Do not. You can check your oil if you want, and if it's showing there's oil in there, okay, but get it to your dealer. So that was my thoughts, and I got it right to my dealer. I called him actually on the phone. I said, hey, this is the third time depleted oil. I don't want this vehicle. Let's make an appointment. Okay, I make an appointment. So they're suggesting me, drive it with no oil, I guess. So I brought it in, looks at it, says I'm fine. I'm like, I'm not fine. I said, this is the third time, depleted oil. This is not right. Something's wrong here. So I talked to, during that time, I talked to my salesman, and I realized my salesman, he has no power. Once you make a sale, your salesman is done. So I talked to, I guess we would call him the manager of the dealership. And I've talked to him several times. Excellent. Everybody's been awesome. Kind of feel a little uncomfortable, with the reactions I'm getting, but I'm okay. So I talked to him. I said, listen, this is the third time I've had it down here for oil depletion. So, I've expressed before that I'm like, at this point, I'm going to trade it in. I'm going to take a major loss here. I got to just get rid of this vehicle. I just want out. Nobody's helping me to get out. So I'm like, what am I going to do here? He suggests filing for a lemon law, and as many other people have too. So I ask about the information. They give me the number. I call Jeep. Jeep puts me through. I get in contact with the people from who I guess handle the lemon law, and I fill out the forms. A few days later, I get a call from them asking me questions. I specifically tell them, I want you to talk to this person at my Jeep dealer. They're handling the situation, and they will tell you, because they said they're 100% backing me up here, that there's a problem. And this is the person I'd like you to talk to. They said, okay, took his name. A couple days later, I get a call from them, Lemon Law, and they decline my my case. So I ask, why is it being declined? And the woman says, because they called the dealer, and the dealer said there's nothing wrong with my vehicle. I'm like, are you serious? And they're like, yes, there's nothing wrong with your vehicle. They said, in order for you to fix the problem, you have to drive it around. I'm like, really? That's what they told you? And the woman's telling me, yes, that's what they told me. You have to drive it around. There's nothing wrong with your vehicle. And I said, ma'am, do you understand what's going on here? And she's like, yes. I said, well, what's the issue that I'm filing for? And I told her, I said, it's depleting oil, right? She says, yes. I said, do you know what happens when you deplete oil and you drive your vehicle? She's like, yes. And I'm like, the engine blows up. And she goes, yes. She says, they said they want you to drive the vehicle around. Maybe they don't like hybrids either. They want me to blow the engine. And I'm like, ma'am, that doesn't make sense. Why would I blow the engine? You know? So she's just not getting it. And she's arguing with me and I'm arguing with her in a way. We're getting a little crazy. And I said, did you talk to this person? She says, yes, I talked to him and I talked to the service management. And this is what they told me. There's nothing wrong with your vehicle and you need to drive it. So I was like, okay. I get off the phone. I call this person at the dealership and I say, hey, I just got off the phone. They declined my claim. And they said that you told them that there's nothing wrong with my vehicle. And this person said they never talked to them. Never talked to them. So I'm just imagining maybe they talked to the serviceman, and that's kind of the vibe I get. The service guy is probably saying, I'm a careless, whatever, consumer. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing, right? I don't know what I'm doing with this vehicle. So I'm just trying to get help. I'm trying to understand it. But 3 oil depletions, whether there's oil in it or not, that's not my thing. That's not my thing. That's the responsibility of Jeep. So I called Jeep back. I called to talk to somebody else. I explained the situation. I explained the answer. And the person's like, well, that doesn't sound right. I'll have somebody call you again. So a few minutes later, I get a phone call. It's the same lady. She's like, you called? And I'm like, no, I didn't call you. I said I called Jeep and they're supposed to have somebody else. She goes, yes. How can I help you? And I even told her, I said, you can't help me. You don't want to listen to me. I told her you don't want to understand what I'm doing. So I'm talking to her and I did confront her. I said, ma'am, you lied to me. And she said, no, I didn't. She says, you lied to me. You said you were going to speak to this person and you didn't call them. She says, yes, I did. So I'm like, okay. I said, I just called them and I talked to him and he says he never talked to you. And she goes, well, I did. And then I said, no, you didn't. She goes, okay, let's do a conference call. I'm like, great, let's do that. Please, let's do that. So she says, she puts me on hold. And I'm waiting a few minutes, and then she comes back and she goes, well, I just got off the phone with him, and he said there's nothing wrong with your vehicle, and you just got to drive it around more. And I'm like, man, what about the 3-way conference call? She says, oh, that's not going to happen. And I'm like, here's another lie. So to me, I'm kind of basing the response that I got that they declined my policy. I'm kind of thinking it's a whole lie, right? They're lying to me, right? She's just making this up, maybe just going through her steps, this is what I'll tell the guy, and I don't know. But anyway, I'm at the point where they tell me to take it to the arbitration. I just don't know what to do. So now I did. I had to go file, I guess, arbitration. They gave me the phone number. Jeep gave me the phone number and they said to go to arbitration. So I took it to arbitration. And now I'm sitting here waiting to hear things. But during that time, I get another phone call. I get another phone call from the same person who's handling the case, my caseworker. And she says, she calls, hey, is there anything I can do to help you before I close this case? And I'm like, close the case? You already closed it. You denied my claim. And she's like, oh, well, it's still open. And is there something I can do? I said, yes. Can you give me a new vehicle? So I just want to exchange the vehicle. Can we just do that? And she says, no, they said there's nothing wrong with your vehicle and you have to drive it around. She kept saying that. That was her line. And then finally, I explained it to her again. I said, "Ma'am, I'm just trying to. Do you understand what happens?" I said to her, "Do you understand if you drive around with a vehicle, what happens to your engine if it has no oil?" She says, "It blows up. You know, it breaks." I said, "Yes." I said, "What's my claim for?" She says, "Oil depletion." I said, "Okay, oil depletion, and your answer is to keep driving." And she's just then she got it. She was just like, "I understand." She goes, "Well, what I'll do is I'll go over it with the staff again," and she said she'll get back to me. I haven't heard back yet. I don't expect any different answer. Um, it's been I'm not going to say a nightmare, but it's just been very uncomfortable, disappointing, and all these things with 4xEs. If you go on the forums and you'll see, um, I guess there's some class action lawsuits already with the form when vehicles go in the form because you don't, you can't use your battery. They also say in a cold climate, you don't get to use it. It's going to go in the form. You don't get to use it. I'm in a cold climate, and what good's having a hybrid if you can't use it? 20 miles is what they say I get, and back to the mileage. 20 miles is what they say you would get. That to me is like a 15-minute drive one way, 15-minute back, and your battery's dead. I didn't know how to charge it when I first purchased it. I didn't know how long it would take. I knew nothing when I bought it. I wish my salesman really sat down and explained things to me. And actually, I'm going to be honest with you. I think a lot of dealers they're not really they're not familiar with what's going on with these vehicles. So I'm not going to blame them, but I think Jeep needs to be a little bit more informative with their 4xEs. Um, Mileage again, it takes me about 14 to 15 hours to recharge my battery to a full charge. That's on a regular line. If you got a 220, it kind of I think cuts that in half. But for me, I'm in a position right now. I just don't have. I just can't put in a 220 at the moment. And personally, I don't even want it. I don't even want the hybrid. I'm going to tell you, if it's up to me, I would not. I would never get a hybrid again. Um, Again, 20 miles. What's that get you? Really, you don't get. I mean, it's great. Well, here's the thing. Everybody kept telling me, well, it's great if you if you're only doing short trips around your house, around your area, maybe around your town, taking your kids to ball games and school and going to get groceries. Any local, it's great, right? You get in, boom. Cost me maybe about $1.75 for a full battery charge. Supposedly 20 miles. I don't think I'm getting that. Um, but the catch to me is like, okay, then if it goes in the form, what do they tell you to do? You got to drive it around to get it out of form. So to drive it around to get it out of form, um, you're wasting your gas. Some people say it can take an hour, 2 hours to get it out of form. Some say maybe quicker. For me, I've never got it out of form, never. And I don't have the time to go drive around and waste a couple gallons of gas to get it out of form. That doesn't make sense. Does not make sense to me. My other two Wranglers, love them, absolutely love them. Have no problems, no issues. My driving habits were perfect for it. The hybrid, I'm just saying it's not for me. It's just not for me. Trying to think of anything else I could inform you about, but um, I don't know. I'm kind of stuck. I'm stuck. All I really want to do is exchange it for a regular vehicle, non-hybrid, and I'd be on my way. I just don't understand why Jeep can't just take it back. Personally, I think this program is not working. There's a lot of problems, and there's a lot of people who love them. I know a lot of people, on the forums and online who say they absolutely love it, and that's fantastic. Their lifestyle, it works great. For my lifestyle, it's not working. It's just not working, and again, I'm just waiting around. I hope this helps, gives you some kind of information. If you have any questions, I'll try to help you, but I'm a rookie with these things, with the 4xE. I'm learning from guys online, and you know, this is just, to me, uh, I just don't think this system's ready yet. I really don't, and you know, and I know there's a lot of guys who've had 4xEs for a couple years, and they're starting to get kind of worn out. They've had their vehicles serviced so many times. I've had my vehicle serviced and down to my dealer, I think more in the last um, 3 or 4 months than I've done in the last 15 years, 20 years. Um, I told my service guy, I don't want to come down here. I know you're sick of me. I don't want to be a pain. I don't want to do this. I don't want to have to confront people. I don't want to have to fight anybody. Nobody should have to go through this. Nobody. You buy a vehicle that expensive, you should be able to just, you should have no problems with this. Not like this. Not like this. Oil depletion, again, whether there's oil in it or not, that's not my issue. You know, as soon as I touch it, as soon as I do something, I'm going to avoid. They're going to blame me. You know, if I press that button once to reset that oil light, and then there's no oil in it, and the engine blows up, that's going to be my fault. So again, I strongly urge you, don't do that. Don't reset it. Get it to your dealer immediately. Get documentation every time you go. Get documentation, because that's what I'm missing right now, and I'm getting from my dealer right now is the documentation, because I mean, I feel like I have no leg to stand on. No leg to stand on. I can't afford to get lawyers. I shouldn't have to go through this. I don't think anybody should have to go through this, really. And if you are going through this, please put your comments down below. Do something. I know this is a long video, but I had to express myself here. And if you stuck around until the end here, thank you. I really hope we can resolve this issue. I love Jeep. I love the vehicle with all the quirks and everything that everybody talks about, and I love the vehicle. It's for me. It's just that the hybrid is not for me, and I hope Jeep takes that into consideration, because I do believe they know. I do believe they know there's a problem here, and it needs to be resolved. I suggest that they stop making these vehicles until they can get it down 100%. 100% should be reacting just like other vehicles. I shouldn't be in the shop 3-4 times. I'm waiting right now for it to go into form again, and gas depletion. This will be number 4, but it hasn't done it yet. It's showing signs, but it hasn't done it yet. Again, I hope this helps you. I'm just giving you my experience. Okay, this is just my experience of me with my Jeep Wrangler 4xE. All right, thank you.